So stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Presentations. We get the public hearing for Topsail Farm.
Topsail Farm.
Would somebody like to make a motion to open up the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
And the police did review the application.
Yep.
There's no issues,
Okay.
no outstanding issues.
Oh, Katie just called me, sorry. Hello.
Hi, it's me.
Yeah.
Is Max there?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get on Zoom and I'm waiting for him to set me up.
Yep. She's trying to get you to, she wants you to get her set up.
She should have I'll send her the link and then she can click on that.
He's gonna,
The link,
she said she's got the
She
link.
has the link.
Yep, she has the link. She can't, doesn't, you should be able to click right on it, I would assume.
well,
If you just put her on speaker, we can just work
meeting,
with
I press launch meeting and nothing happens.
Huh.
He usually comes on and tells me to unmute myself
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah. For some reason it's not working.
I'll try it tomorrow. I can try and help her another time. I can't do it in the middle of the meeting.
Yeah, he says,
We can just put her on speakerphone if she
Put
would
her on
like.
speaker.
yeah, I'll just put you on speakerphone, okay?
Okay.
Can you hear us, Katie?
Yep.
Okay.
I can hear her better on that. Yeah.
All right, we got the public hearing open for the Topsail Farm liquor license. And Bob made a motion, Colonel seconded it to open it up, and we get public comment. And Julie said that the police have weighed in on it, and there hasn't been any issues, so. Anybody else on the select board have any comments or issues?
Great.
I'm good.
I have one question. Is there a maximum number of liquor licenses that are allowed in town? I'm asking because I have no idea.
I don't believe so, is it?
I will have to find that out. I don't know.
Okay.
I've
Well,
never,
yeah,
never
it
had a
isn't- It
issue.
isn't any big deal or isn't,
Yeah.
I just wondered.
Yeah.
Some communities have, well, we'll have 25 and that's it.
Yeah.
So I just wondered.
Yep, I don't believe there's ever been an issue with it. No. Bob?
Yeah, I just had a question regarding their insurance policy. I think the statute requires them to have a copy of their policy on file. So,
They normally send it to us.
good, okay, just wanted to know.
All of them typically, it's sent through, just like if you were a contractor, it's sent directly to us from the insurance company.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody in the public have any questions? Melvin?
The name of the place indicates to the public, I believe, that it's a farm. Now, I know it's not a farm, but I don't, we've had many applications before the board, before the taxes, because they want to be taxed at a farm rate, but, if you want to do a liquor business and an entertainment business, it's not a farm.
I don't know if they're taxed as a farm though.
Well, I don't. That's why
No, they're not.
I don't
They're
believe
not,
so.
But I think they do actually farm a portion of that property. You might not be able to see it from the road, but
Well, you can see,
yeah.
Browns hay that land, have for 1,000 years.
But but that's what they call it, Topsail Farm.
Yep. Anybody else get anything? Close the meeting. Somebody want to make a motion?
I move that we approve the liquor license.
No, we gotta close it first. We gotta close it first.
Oh.
Close the hearing. Yep. You want to make the motion to
Yeah,
close the
I
public?
move to close this.
Is there a second?
Second.
Guess we'll act on it. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the liquor
I
license?
move we approve the liquor license for the Topsail Farm.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Right.
My hand is raised.
We know, we could see you.
What?
I knew that would get her. No, I'm just kidding. I knew that would get you going.
Executive session?
Huh?
Were we supposed to go into an executive session at 6 o'clock?
No.
That's what's on my agenda.
I know, because the person who normally does the agenda wasn't here on Thursday to do the agenda, and the person who had to do the agenda, me, isn't very bright.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any adjustments to the agenda? There are none, we'll move along. Citizens' comments. Is there any citizens' comment? Go ahead.
Thank you.
You could just stay right there, because
Okay.
he's got his thing
All right,
set
I
up.
don't wanna ruin that.
Fine where you are.
Okay, so, good evening. My name is Saran Pine. Again, hasn't changed since last 2 weeks ago. I came before the board on December 8th and proposed an in-town park for the 80 Gray property and the adjacent parcels. Since then, I was contacted by Bob Butler, who advised he believes, contrary to his earlier opinion, that I have a conflict of interest by being on the 80 Gray subcommittee and making a presentation to you for an in-town park. So I wanted to come and update you on this. Although I truly believe that I can be impartial concerning these matters, after consideration at the committee's meeting on December 15th, I did resign, but only because I believe there may be an appearance of impropriety. As you know, I stated in my earlier presentation that there are compelling reasons to demolish the 80 Gray building, relocate the tennis courts, and restore the wetland and its buffer area, and most important, create a lovely park in town. Some people would question why the select board presented to the voters only a binary question. The choice was either for Volunteers of America or nothing. What was that? Essentially, there was no choice. You had, at the time you crafted the question, no plans, no other plans. There was no RFP. There was no plan. There were no plans for an RFP for that building area. And also, let's remember that that vote that the town made was specifically non-binding, specifically. And so now I'm coming to you with a proposal which is better than Volunteers of America's proposal. You already have my proposal and a copy of the draft concept plan, but I'm happy to provide those to you again if you need be. Just let me know. Concerning a park for Waldoboro, the research is clear. Parks boost well-being for the entire neighborhood. Parks foster community where everyone is welcome. And compare that to Volunteers of America's proposal. It will not foster community. It will not be a place where everyone in Waldoboro is welcome. And it is a fact that parks improve community health. They reduce stormwater runoff. They attract visitors. Parks enhance property values. And parks boost economic development. Compare that to Volunteers of America's proposal and ask yourself, please, will Volunteers of America's proposal enhance property values in that area? Will it boost economic development? And further, it is a fact that COVID-19 pandemic, it has underscored that close to home parks are crucial to a community's quality of life. During this crisis, people across the country have turned to their parks like never before for fresh air, for exercise, for meditation, for solace, and for much needed break from the stress of what's happening in the world. Compare that to the proposal by Volunteers of America. Their proposal gives nothing to the citizens. Their proposal gives absolutely no preference to the citizens of Waldoboro. So, as I mentioned to you before, I have strong indications of private funding for a park and of public funding. Upon Bob's recommendation, I believe, I sent the December 8th presentation and, along with the draft concept plans to members of the Recreation Committee. And it's my understanding that the committee will be meeting at the end of January. And so I urge every one of you to stop all decisions and all negotiations going with Volunteers of America. Waldeboro needs a park, approximately 8 acres of nice in-town parks with a community garden, with a place for the farmer's market, with a gathering place for people, a place that everyone can use. Thank you.
Does anybody else get any citizens' comments?
I'd like to say it is a very nice proposal, and everything she said is true. I mean, just a park, I mean, someplace for Waldeboro Day. I know certain towns have like Oyster Fest, we could have a Clam Fest every year too, so that would just be someplace for the park to use, but if you have these festivals every year, it promotes all of Waldeboro. Because when you look at the old pictures of Waldeboro, all the historical society, everyone's always gathered together. There used to be the gazebo across from, the customs house where they'd have the bandstand and everything. So to have something like that again, I think right now it's just missing. I mean, I heard there used to be caroling and tree lightings. Those are all things that, if you had a nice village green within walking distance with sidewalks, it would be really nice for the town to have that again.
Anybody else?
I have some questions.
Melvin, sorry.
We've had this old building up there, and we've had proposals, and more proposals, and more proposals of what we was gonna do with it. We've owned that building 11 years. The school gave it to the town 11 years ago. What is the rush now to get Volunteers of America in here? Which what they're gonna do, in my little study that I've done, is they're gonna build Section 8 housing. Yes, it's just like the Sproul Block. The Sproul Block was all gonna be housing for the elderly. Our police department, fire department, spend more time in the Sproul Block than they do some of these trailer parks.
And that's not true, actually.
Huh?
That's not true.
Well, you listen to the scanner. Listen to the scanner.
Well, I see the reports, and I can tell you exactly where they spend most of their time, and it is not Sproul Block.
Jeanette, you got something?
Yeah, I had some questions. If you put in this housing there, how is this going to impact the taxpayers? Because you'll have to have water, you'll have to have sewage.
It's already there.
It's already there. So it won't be impacting the town, the citizens, the taxpayers. I can't breathe.
Well, it's the water and the sewer is already there. So any improvements to that would be on the cost of the developer. It gives you more rate users, which technically should help in theory.
Right, the ratepayers only pay it doesn't affect your property taxes if you own it well.
Yeah. Thank you.
But anyways, is that it, Jeanette?
Yep.
Okay. Any others? All right, we'll move along. Select board comments. We'll start with you, Katie.
I'm all set, thanks.
Okay. You can hear everything okay?
Oh, yes, very well.
Okay. Bob?
I just want to wish everybody the best for the holiday season that's coming up. Good health, stay safe, self-distance, wear your masks, please, and be kind.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Colonel?
Ditto.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it all.
Jan?
Well, I just wanted to
make a comment on the passing of one of Waldoboro's finest former citizens, and that's Mark Biscoe. Many of us knew him. I think Bob and I were on his last walk
I think we were.
that he gave. Yeah, really informative. Mark, he learned the history of Waldoboro. He knew the history of Waldoboro, and he shared that history with the likes of other historians like Jasper Stahl and Randy Gross and Richard Wallace. So they're all gone now. I wonder who our latest historian will rise up from the ashes somewhere. Mark and Jane made many contributions to our town, and I'm not talking about monetary contributions. They provided programs with the Historical Society. They were very involved with the Historical Society. Jane was involved with a lot of groups in town. But they were givers, and they gave so much to our town. Mark wrote 2 books. I grabbed one of them that I have, Stories of Waldoboro from Maine's Golden Years. And if you don't have it, the library has it, and you can purchase these. There are a couple of them at the Historical Society. But it was a sad day when I found out that he had gone. But it was a happy day to be able to think about all of the things that he's done for this community. And that is that. And the other thing I wanted to say is, if you were here last Christmas, this is a most unusual Christmas, but if you were here last Christmas, you would have had the opportunity to join a group of lively people downtown and do carols. We've done that for many years in town. That's been going on until this year because of COVID, we can't. Every year, except this year, we also have had a wonderful celebration in town, Waldoboro Day, and that will come back. I have some T-shirts from 1980 from the Waldoboro Day committee, and I have no doubt that will come back to town, and we'll be able to celebrate our town again. It's been in numerous places. 80 Grayfield the last couple of years up on that area, and it was very nice. Was in town for many years before that, blocked off the downtown. So I hope that next year, I'm looking forward to having some of these things back again next year, where we can celebrate our town in fine style.
I'm all set. I guess we'll move right along. Town manager's report.
I just want to say a big thank you to the fire department who hosted Santa on Saturday from 4 to 6. A virtual not a virtual, but a socially distanced Santa visit. The mailbox was out for letters all week, and that was well received by the children. So I would just like to say thank you to them. I also wanted to publicly report that the Waldoboro Toy Program provided toys, a warm coat, and boots. I think it was 56. I remember the number before. BC, you wrote it down.
I think you said 55, actually. 55.
55.
55 individual kids,
26 families. And that was all done through the donations to the toy program. Big shout out to Rennie's for helping us with the boots. And it was a wonderful thing for the police, fire, and EMS to work to collect the toys. Our new community navigator, Karen Hagar, Justin Hills, and Chief Lash all helped and did all the packaging, and Tanya today and Karen yesterday helped with getting everything out to everybody. But it was just a wonderful thing, great spirit in the community, and people very much appreciated when they were getting the bags and the coats and the boots. So it was great. It was difficult to make the calls to tell people to come pick up because you weren't sure if they were in the car driving with their kids or something. So it was just like, so the packages have arrived. And one dad just wasn't getting it. I don't know what you're talking about. What? And I'm just like, the eagle has landed. Now, I'm like, Santa has visited us. And he's like, who are you and why are you calling me? So then he finally called back and I was like, it's Julie from the town office. I said, the stuff for the kids is, oh, I'm glad you didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, so it was kind of fun. But that was huge. Just a reminder, we are closed on the 24th, the town office, but the transfer station is open, and that's because the office staff traded Indigenous Peoples Day for Christmas Eve day. Just because of the election, everything, it made more sense to stay open that Monday. So just a reminder. Fun, fun, fun.
Okay.
And have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Festivus.
Moving along to the consent calendar. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Make a motion to accept?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
There is a very nice letter in the
Aye.
calendar from Derek Booker, addressed to two folks on the EMS.
I was gonna
Yeah.
highlight that.
Yeah, are you gonna talk about that?
I was going to.
Hold on, Katie, with your approval.
Okay.
We got a letter to be read.
As you know,
Okay.
the last meeting, we promoted Derek Booker to Deputy Director of EMS. And he walked over and gave this letter. One of his new initiatives is making sure that when attaboys and girls are warranted, that they are received. So he wrote that this is a letter of recognition for your actions in saving the life of an individual during the early morning hours, the 29th of November. The individual was suffering a cardiac event with a subsequent cardiac arrest. The actions you took during this call saved the life of this individual. It is without a doubt that the two of you would consider this just doing the job. However, at times we are given the opportunity to change the outcome of a dire event, which is what you did. Reports are that the individual is doing well and is recovering at home. And this was to Arel Marks and Terry Bramhall, one of our medics. Arel is our medic, and Terry is one of our EMTs. And you just don't realize it. And I always say that I'm privileged to work among heroes, many of them unsung. But I've watched them I shouldn't say numerous, I think twice now, bring somebody back. And they are angels among us. And we're very blessed to have them.
Okay, now you can make the motion, Katie.
Motion to accept the consent calendar.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. On to new business. We have fire department, the claims ordinance.
If you'll recall, 2 years ago, we implemented this ordinance.
2 years ago, actually, 2017.
Is it really that
Yeah.
long? Ooh,
Time flies.
time is, yeah. And it was the first time that we started actually charging for reimbursement for the fire services. And as you know, that's been a good thing for the town. However, at the request of the chief and Peg Tynan, after meeting with our billing service, they had some requests. So we implemented the committee, the initial committee, to go over this, and I have to turn it over to Bob because I was unable to be at that meeting.
Well, you've basically covered it. The problem with the billing company was that they need to reference specific costs in our ordinance. And we've stated them generally, and referring to particularly capital cost reimbursements, FEMA, and a section in their governing documents regarding EMS services, fire services. So what we've done is we've not been specific about FEMA. We've been specific about where they can get these unit costs. And it makes it a lot easier for the billing process. It cleans up the process, so it becomes very seamless. That's the word I wanted. That's why they'd like us to redo that section in the ordinance.
Okay. Does any other select board members have any comments about it?
We just have to do a public hearing on this
Okay, so we're gonna set a date for the
at the
public.
second meeting in January.
Okay, so that'll be, okay, so we'll save that for the agenda items.
It has to be published and.
Yep, okay. Moving along, there's no old business. Any items for the agenda for the next meeting? And you see any that's gonna creep up on us?
Budget. So I'm hopeful that maybe after the first of the year, we're gonna get some budget numbers from the state. That will be a happy time, just to get some indications of where it's going. I don't know if any of you saw, I had said maybe at the last meeting, it's possible we would have maybe something in the stimulus package for municipalities. There was nothing in this last stimulus package for municipalities. So I think we're at that point where we just have to see what the state revenue sharing is going to look like, and then we move on from there.
And have we heard anything at all about school support from the state?
From the stimulus package said it was, I forget how many billion was in there for schools, but I don't know what that's gonna look like.
How that'll trickle down.
I don't know, but, you know, it would have been nice if they could have given us some relief for the towns. We haven't gotten any relief, and I don't think that, I mean, and every town's not the same, so somebody like us that has an EMS, that revenue that was lost when everybody decided not to go to the hospital for those months, that impacted us significantly. We're fortunate in that was in technically last year's budget, but, you know, we don't know what the future holds, so hopefully, if we could get some good numbers from the state on what their revenue sharing projections are that are realistic. Like I said, we did good this year planning. I think we were very fiscally responsible, extremely conservative with our revenue numbers. And that was one of the things in your packet this week was the revenue numbers and the expenditures from July through November. So hopefully we'll have a better idea. I've been told they're expecting it after January 1st to give us some type of guidance. They have to, because we're all starting that budget process. So that's where we are.
Do you have anything for the agenda, Bob, for the next meeting?
Well, it depends on how things evolve. I would rather not put them on or make a suggestion at this point until we know more going forward. So.
Okay, yep. Colonel, do you have anything? Jan?
I think it's time to pull out because it's the brand new year, pull out the list of to-dos, our goals.
The goals?
Right.
The big giant goals list.
Well, let's see what we can cross off. But even more than that, I think it might be time to think about like an overarching kind of goal for the select board, what it is that we really want to give our energy to. You know, if we could, and it could be things like, I don't know, we can discuss that, but like communication or, I don't know, road cleanup, or just something that we could just put a lot of energy into and say this was the year of.
Would you like a top 10 requests we get?
Yeah.
I can do that. Mm-hmm. The top 10.
Yeah.
It's going to be a workshop, Jan.
Well,
we really don't have. We will have one of our committees in next time. I don't remember which one it is, but one of our, just for a presentation. I think it's planning's up next.
It depends on how full the agenda is. If it's not, I mean, it's easily to discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, we can
And I can circulate those.
Whatever.
I can circulate the list to you ahead of time so that you have it and you can think about it. And then I'll also recirculate our goals list. If you recall, it was
very large, yes.
Quite large.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's cut. Hey, the website, so there's a lot of stuff that we can cross off of that.
Well, that's good. It's good to look at those once in a while and see where we've come and where it was we thought we needed to go, and do we still need to go there?
Yeah.
And also, it would be good to have a real discussion on, you know, just one little thing.
And the other thing I thought would be good, and we can do it virtually, but Karen Ann brought it up the other day, and I thought it was a great idea, is now that we have the community navigator, to have another community forum.
Oh.
And maybe plan that for May.
Yeah.
Because that'll give her 6 months in, well, 5 or 6 months in. And it would be really, I think, interesting to see, invite all of our previous guests and just see where we are.
At some point, we also need to think about your annual evaluation, Julie.
We can do that.
We owe you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been a little.
We owe you that.
Yeah. Well, you haven't fired me yet. So.
It's good to
Could
have
happen.
something nice in your record.
It would be
That
nice
would be
to have
awesome,
something.
yes.
The only
Looking at it
thing I
that
would
way.
ask is I don't want to use that same form. I know it's part of our thing, but because I answer the same things over and over, so if we can come up maybe in something more creative, that would be great. But yeah, I think that's, do you want that for the next meeting?
It wouldn't be inappropriate. I mean, we do it around this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you, we can do that in an executive. Why don't you guys send me something and I can do my self-eval, whatever you send, and then we can,
Okay.
does one of you want to spearhead that? Because I really shouldn't be involved in it.
Bob.
I've got
Bob.
something else.
Bob.
Shocker.
I can,
You're probably not shocked though, are you, Bob? You're probably really not
But just, you know what I mean. My issue with the last form that we used is I've done that now like 6 times. So if we could just
it won't be that form, Julie.
mix it up a little bit.
Katie,
I'd
do you
enjoy
have
it.
anything for the agenda for the next meeting?
No, I'm all set, thanks.
Okay.
This is a record.
Yeah.
Wow, you get the prize.
Well, it was purposely kept short, I think, too. I think that was our thing is, you know.
Christmas week.
Christmas week.
I can't remember having a meeting this close
I
to
know.
Christmas.
Oh,
Usually
right, yeah,
We normally don't at all.
We usually have one meeting in December.
But,
Yeah.
but the Topsail Farms liquor license
Yeah.
was a timely issue, so.
That's all right.
Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Before we adjourn, can I say something?
Well, of course you can.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Merry Christmas to you.
Okay,
Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn now?
I'll make that motion.
make a motion to adjourn?
Bob, you want to second it?
Then I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor?
Aye,
Yep, we're good.
Wow.
thank you.
Yep.
We have papers to sign.
You
Yes,
have
we do.
papers to sign. You have warrants and the liquor license.